All right, great. So, welcome to the SevenJackpots Podcast. It's a podcast where we talk about everything online gambling in India. And as a first episode, I think that it's good for us to start with a bit of an introduction of ourselves so that you know a little bit more about who we are and where we come from, our background. So, Matthias, maybe you could start with presenting yourself a little bit.
Yeah, sure. My name is Matthias. I'm from Sweden, and I've been working in the iGaming industry for 15 years almost, primarily on the marketing part of the business. I was a part of a startup company called Catena Media, which is one of the largest lead generation company in the industry. And I spent 5 years at LeoVegas Gaming Group, which is a Scandinavian operator, mainly focusing on the Scandinavian markets. And since 3.5 years back, I'm running SevenJackpots with you guys. And my job at SevenJackpots is sort of being the spider in the net, making sure that we have a relevant content roadmap and that everyone is working towards the same goals, basically.
Cool. And then I can probably go next. So my name is Felicia. I'm the editor-in-chief at SevenJackpots.com. I've been working within the iGaming industry for almost 10 years now. Started out as a fraud investigator for PokerStars and Full Tilt Poker. And then I also worked a couple of years at LeoVegas as a copywriter and worked with all the content on that site, mainly for Swedish markets, but then moving over to English as well. And during the time that I worked with these companies, I worked quite a lot with regulation actually and regulated markets. It just happened to be that way. So for PokerStars and Full Tilt, I actually worked with creating training content for when they launched in New Jersey, when they got back into the US. And for LeoVegas, I worked obviously with the Swedish market when Sweden became regulated in 2019, but also with the UK, Denmark, Italy. Yeah, so a bunch of regulated markets, which kind of makes it easier for me to understand the laws and regulations that go on in India.
A question. I know your passion around casino games in general, but poker. Did you play poker back then? And do you still like playing poker? Or was it just a coincidence that you ended up on PokerStars?
It was a coincidence that I started working for PokerStars, but when I started working there, the culture was obviously very big around poker. So we did have a couple of company events where we actually got to play against the professionals. So they got the professionals over to Malta, for example, and we got to play against them. We also got to learn how to play with some of the professionals. We had workshops. So that was fun. We also had online tournaments. So yeah, it was fun. I don't play anymore though. Now it's more like board games for me rather than poker. And what about you, Sweden?
Well, guys, I'm the research one on the team. I used to work for over a decade in European collaboration projects, very international, very institution heavy, to justify why a certain venture should get a financing and how it should work, coordinate teams. But that became a little bit too. It's not boring, but it's very aligned and very structured, and I knew how to do it. So I started exploring new opportunities. Also, because in the meantime I was writing and teaching even business courses and marketing courses, and it was getting too narrow for me. So I'm glad I found the SevenJackpots team 2.5, maybe 3 years ago, and I've been on the team to break down and make sense of statistics and trends and figures and features of the gaming world. And I've been learning a lot, but I've been contributing to the team. So I'm making sure that it's worth it to look from a numbers perspective, not only for the industry, but also for the players, for the regular casual users to understand how it works. So I enjoy it.
Awesome. All right. So I hope that everyone might have a little bit of a better understanding of who we are. And obviously we're all working at the SevenJackpots website. So So Matthias, would you want to explain a little bit like why we have decided to do this podcast?
Yeah, so we actually spoke about this before we started to record. I mean, the Indian market in general, if you look at the iGaming space, is quite immature. I think we all agree to that. What we find interesting, though, in general, is that the culture around gambling is extremely high in India. Diwali just stopped in India, and we can obviously see that in the search trends that searches for specific games increases. So we feel that we have a huge part to play in the ecosystem in general when it comes to gambling. And our idea with the podcast is to be a little bit more detailed in terms of the different areas that we work with. We have everything from casino reviews to game reviews where you dig into the details in terms of how a slot machine is working and the mechanics there. So in short, we want to give some additional spice and flavor to our work and try to be fun and also, educating our audience basically. So that's my short view of it. And you, Felicia?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And I also think that a lot of the podcasts that you find out today, they are very focused on the European markets. So a lot of it just like you're missing a lot of the India specific focus. Everything is about European markets, and that you have to, if in order for it for you to understand how that would work for an Indian player, you kind of just have to know a lot of like how to navigate those podcasts and how to navigate even the websites and the blog posts and everything that you see online. So I really just felt that it was like a big opportunity for us to sit down and be able to share our specific experience and our specific expertise on India specifically, because it's I think that it's needed, and there's a lot of knowledge sharing that we can do and a lot of education for people, because gaming and gambling in general is quite new in India, thanks to, the recent developments for internet connection and 4G and 5G. So it's really, it's an opportunity for us to just share, like our many, many years of knowledge within the industry in a way that hopefully is understandable for people.
In brief, that's why we do it. We want to be a trustworthy information source in one way or another, because of this perceived gap in understanding of the online gaming scene. Not only because the Indian market is so diverse and fragmented on a state by state and then game type and platform and apps and mobiles, but imagine how immense the global online gaming market is. So for the regular user, we want to give value. We want to share what's relevant, what's new, what impacts them, how it works. So that's why we're gonna break down news and case studies, and we hope to invite some experts beside our team and talk about the legal and the taxation and the game mechanics and everything. So it starts from here, but it's gonna go in many directions.
I completely agree, and just to add on that, since we've been in the market for some time now, we are one of the biggest portals in terms of traffic, and that comes with a lot of benefits, such as our partnerships with the operators, and we have a lot of internal and external data points that I think is very useful to share with everyone who's listening in. And like you said, Svil, and we hope to invite a few of those guys in the podcast moving forward as well.
And I guess that we are planning on releasing this podcast on like a monthly basis, at least to begin with, because we have quite a lot of topics that we can go through and talk about and discuss. And as you mentioned as well, Matthias, some people that we could hopefully invite and interview. One of those episodes is going to be, the next one after this one, where we are going to take a closer look at casino reviews. So obviously, for anyone who's been on the 7Jackpots website, you can see that we do have a few casino reviews there, which are long pieces talking about everything about a specific casino, from deposit methods to withdrawals to to the games and the design and all of those things. So that's kind of what the next episode is going to be about. But we're also thinking of going into how that works from our side a little bit, because I think that's something that isn't really spoken about that much in general. Like how come we can sit here and write casino reviews and do that for a living? Like how does that work? So yeah, that's kind of like what our next episode is going to be. But obviously, if you're listening to this now and you have any kind of ideas of what you would want us to talk about, feel free to leave us a comment in the comment section below this video, and we will see if we can make something on that as well. Do you have anything else anyone wants to add?
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be a lot of interesting episodes. I really look forward to dig deeper into the specific games, both the traditional table games or the live games like roulette and blackjack, but also Teen Patti and other games. You are truly a game expert, Felicia, so I'm sure we will be able to learn one or two things from you. What about you, Sweden? Do you feel we missed anything, Sweden?
Yeah, we're gonna start with casino reviews because that's our bread and butter. But I'm not sure how in detail we're gonna go about individual games because there are thousands of those. But I'm pretty sure that we're gonna start by looking at the overall experience of actually what when you type in online casino and roulette and poker and whatever you search, what you should look out for. And that's why Felicia said that you need to really understand how the whole backstage thing works, and we're going to reveal that for you. But we're going to take it from there, and we're going to explain all the features, all the the strong and the weak points of the casino industry. And I think we're going to have a lot to say, and you're going to have a lot to learn from this podcast.
Nice.
If that's it, I guess we'll wrap it up for now, and then see everyone in the next episode.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
Ciao.